So in November, just a few months ago, this happened. So yeah, this is the scene of the crime here. I had this lovely XJ just totally plow into the back of my truck. And this is what we got. Everybody was safe. That was the first and most important thing. And it didn't really hit me until the next day. I knew we had a lot of equipment installed on the vehicle and I wasn't sure that it was going to be covered. And I didn't know how it would work, especially when I'm dealing with somebody else. So the takeaway here is that a lot of you out there right now are likely not insured for all of the equipment that you have on your vehicle. And if you are in an accident and it is your fault, chances are your insurance is not going to pay you for it. I told one of my friends about it and he has a GFC camper on the back of his Tacoma. He called his insurance company the next day. They indicated that his camper wasn't insured. He was able to make an adjustment to his premium. He pays an extra $8 a month and now his camper is covered. So it was important to me in this process to be as polite as possible because I wasn't sure what the outcome was going to be and I wasn't going to put myself in a position to risk everything that we've worked for because I wanted to be an asshole. So I called State Farm, that was their provider. Good things were already happening, the claim was already been filed, and that's where the process started. So I opted to take the truck to Haley Toyota, they're a State Farm adjuster. If anybody needed to describe what this vehicle was, I knew Haley could do it because they're an ARB dealer and they install a lot of this equipment on new trucks. And they said, well, if you've got invoices for everything that you've installed on the vehicle, go ahead and submit that to us and we'll submit that with your adjustment to State Farm. So they indicated that I needed to call back in 24 to 48 hours and they'd have some more information. The first Monday after Thanksgiving, I called State Farm back and they gave me the first value. While I was waiting, I had spent a lot of time researching the internet. Everything that I was reading was indicating that if I don't have my parts insured under my own insurance provider, then chances are the at-fault party's insurance is not going to cover it. So they said they had a value on the vehicle. And the first thing they told me was, do you want to buy this vehicle back? And I'm thinking, well, why would I want to buy the vehicle back? The vehicle was totaled. And I was like, totaled? Why is this thing totaled? I've just been rear-ended. So they indicated the buyback on the truck was $13,000. And then they indicated that there was $18,000 in damage done to the vehicle. And in order to repair it, it would cost that much. At this point in time, I don't want to buy the truck back. I want the value of the vehicle and I want to move forward. Then they came back with $23,000 on a total 2017 Tacoma with 50,000 miles. And I was a little shocked. The trade-in value on that vehicle was around $27,000 to $30,000 already. So I brought that up and they identified that they had the wrong vehicle in the system and they were actually giving me the value for a 2015. So know your facts when you're going into this conversation, ask questions. That's the most important thing that you can do. The parts that are on this vehicle provide a service, and without those parts on this vehicle or a vehicle that I will buy after I settle on this, I can't provide the same service. And said, how are we going to value that? Repeat process. Every day at 4 o'clock, I'd call back and share the story over and over again. So I know one question you're asking right now or thinking to yourself is why not take all the parts off the truck? Honestly, removing the parts is plan C. First point to be made is that I work for a living and I have a family and I don't have a whole lot of time to spend unbuilding a truck that I built a year and a half ago. The other point to make is that this truck is an hour and a half away at Haley Toyota in Roanoke and I live in West Virginia. Plan B was legal action. I needed to understand the actual value of my vehicle and the value of the parts that are on the vehicle, right? So I already knew that the vehicle was priced right around $27,000. I knew the wrap was worth $1,600 and I knew I had right around $23,000 in parts installed on this truck. I allotted for like 30 to 40% depreciation and that brought me to around $45,000. The attorneys all indicated that I needed to establish what I would accept. I said, okay, if it's within $5,000, I'm just gonna accept it. And they said, if it's outside of $5,000, call us back, we'll draft up a letter. So for 5 more days, I continued to call back at 4 o'clock, just over a month into this, and we're gonna get some good news. They tell me first that they value the vehicle at $27,000. They tell me second that they're gonna pay me for the wrap, which was great, so that's gonna put us around $30,000. And then they're gonna pay taxes, title, and tags for the purchase of a new vehicle as well. So we're right at around $32,000, $33,000. At this point, I feel pretty good because they've identified the value of the wrap. They're probably gonna identify the value of the parts too. And she said, would you like the settlement check mailed to you? And I said, wait, what about the parts? They said, okay, we understand your situation. We need to get you in contact with somebody that can actually approve, these additional parts because it exceeds our ability to approve this value. And I'm like, great. The next day I get a phone call from the third party. A gentleman introduces himself as such and that he has an off-road vehicle and he understands my situation and he understands all the parts on the truck, but you understand we can't replace all of that. And I said, I understand that you can't replace the retail value of it because it's depreciated. And he said, well, yeah, that's true. And I said, I've got a number in my head that I think this vehicle is worth. And he said, really? He said, well, where are you at? I said, if we can get to $45,000, I'm good with it. Let's settle, let's cut a check and be done with this. He said, you'll get a phone call back in 24 hours. They valued the truck at $45,800, plus the wrap, plus the tax, title, and tags to purchase a new vehicle, and I'm right around $50,000. So that's it, folks. I expect you to call your insurance and know what your insurance provides for you and how you can protect your investment. If you are in an accident, always be polite with insurance because those are the people that are going to pay you back. Be patient, but be persistent. Know your story and keep your invoices. Those are the best tips that I can give you to work through this situation, mitigate any stress that will come from it. And most importantly, wear your seatbelt and avoid people that are text messaging and driving. Okay, we're here at Haley Toyota. Gonna say goodbye to Tacoma 2.0. Got some of my personal things out of it and turn it over to insurance tomorrow. I've actually turned it over as of now. We'll close on the settlement tomorrow. It's been a great truck. Now we got to figure out something else to build. It's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be a lot of work. Just a year and a half on this guy, 50,000 miles, and it's totaled just like that. Been a great truck though, and excited to see what the future holds for us.